the best way I can begin to answer it is, I think that eventually anybody, no matter what they're doing, whether they're playing the guitar, whether they're a musician or whatever, they develop their own route in what they're doing. And eventually, those that have any kind of success in whatever their discipline is, their route should be quite established within themselves. They should be quite clear, there should be a commitment to it. For me, I always try to take an approach of versatility and adaptability in what I did as a fighter. I tried to take that approach. Not saying I achieved it every single time, but that was the kind of approach I attempted to take. It's not to say that I have anything. I still enjoy to practice kata. I still enjoy to watch it performed well. But for me personally, I see it more as a means to an end. I see kata as a training method as opposed to a performance or an end in itself. So it tends to take that role within my training more than an end result. It's more of a training method towards an end result. When you compete for England, you give 150%. The minute you hit that mat and you're representing England, whether it be an individual event or whether it be a team event, your attitude is, it should be the best it's ever been, and it really does pull that out of you. You know that you demand of yourself to be the absolute best that you could be at that point, and it does create that. Yes, yeah, that's the job. I think obviously not just for me, for everybody. It just pulls the best out of you. My family were very proud at that point and supportive of me being picked to represent England as an international karate competitor, albeit as a junior at that point, but they were very proud, of course, yeah. Well, at this point I was still a junior, an under-21 competitor. I was at that point training. Some days I was training 5-6 times a week, some days twice a day. I was very fit. I was used to training very hard. They had the junior national squad sessions. These sessions would last some 4 hours, and anybody that's been in those squad sessions will tell you that they are extremely difficult, extremely demanding, physically and mentally. I think Andy purposely has structured them to, how can I put it, weed out those who are haven't got the necessary want of it, if you want to put it that way. They're very, very demanding, very. At this stage, on the squad, juniors and seniors as well, because seniors were sometimes still training that session, with the likes of Frank Brennan, Ronnie Christopher, George Best, Ian Roberts. All these guys, very high level, very committed, very tough, very demanding. These sessions, 4 hours, kumite sessions, very difficult. And as I've said before, I think these sessions in particular laid the foundation stones for the success quite a few years later. You know, I'd always prided myself on the ability to you know, just keep going, just enjoy, just keep doing it, just keep going. And after this first session, it was so difficult. It truly was. I hadn't trained like that before. I hadn't trained to that level of exhaustion, to that level of repetition, complete and utter exhaustion. More than anything, it's a mental exhaustion. I hadn't trained there before. I hadn't been to that particular place before. And I remember after the first session, I thought to myself, my God, what exactly am I doing here? When I first started competing, I was beaten easily the first few times. So I expected in my own mind, once I reached a new level, a more difficult level, for the same thing to happen again. I was in a way, I was ready for the next war. So I at first found international tournament kumite quite difficult, of course. I attempted to give my all, but I naturally found it quite difficult. So any kind of success for the first few years eluded me, of course, which I think by that point I was prepared for. Yeah, right. Sunderland event. Had to win by Nippon. Pressure was on, and the Germans always tough competitors. Traditionally, Germans very tough mentality, always really ready to have a go. My opponent at this point knew that I had to win by Nippon, so he decided to, how can I put it? He decided to play it quite cagey. You know, I won't say he ran all over the map, but I'll say he decided to play it quite cagey. And I had to get Nippon in order for us to win. So I just went at him. I tried everything I could think of, everything. Went at him with every technique I could think of. Tried to sweep him, tried to punch him, tried to kick him, everything. He evaded everything. He was a reasonably small fella, small, compact, but you know, reasonably tough. I've seen him fight earlier on in the day, but he decided not to engage, if you want to put it that way. He wouldn't engage me. Chased him everywhere. Eventually, I took the choice. I remember I was down to, like, I think it was the last 10 seconds or so, and I knew that I had to do something reasonably different in order to turn the situation around. So at the last Yame, we bowed, and I just walked towards him. I knew that if I walked towards him, he would react. My strategy at that point, I think, I can remember quite clearly, was to just pull something out of him, which it worked. Just walk towards him, put my arms down, and he fired a Margeri, which I knew he'd fire something, because I was pretty sure that he wouldn't have come across that kind of situation before. Somebody just walking towards him, hands down. So hopefully the strategy would pull him out of his strategy, which was just to evade me, and it worked. He fired the Margeri. I stepped through, blocked it, stepped through, swept him, I scored him. I was pleased. Everyone was pleased. That was it.
Go!